Okay. Good morning. Let's get our first officer to help out a little here.
2.7 QNH 1016.
We're listening
No
to
sick advise you have information, Charlie.
ATIS.
This is Queenstown. Information, Charlie. 2236 Zulu.
Call for
Queenstown ground. Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, ready for clearance. Wellington International.
Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, standby.
Call for clearance.
Queenstown ground, November 146 Charlie Hotel, radio check 121.9.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, readability 5.
Readability 5 also, November 146 Charlie Hotel. Queenstown ground, November 146 Charlie Hotel, ready for clearance Duneden.
Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, cleared to Wellington International Airport, cleared as filed, maintain altitude 7,000 feet, expect flight level 30010 minutes after departure, departure frequency 118.1, squawk 3020.
Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, cleared to Wellington International Airport, cleared as filed, maintain altitude 7,000 feet, departure frequency 118.1, squawk 3020.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, standby. Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, period back correct.
Queenstown ground. Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, request startup.
Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform, startup approved.
Golf Romeo Bravo Quebec uniform.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, cleared to Duneden Airport, cleared as filed, maintain altitude 7,000 feet, expect altitude 9,000 feet 10 minutes after departure, departure frequency 118.1, squawk 3021.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, is cleared to Duneden Airport, cleared as filed, maintain altitude 7,000 feet, departure frequency 118.1, squawk 3021.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, period back correct.
Call for taxi.
Queenstown ground, November 146 Charlie Hotel, request startup.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, startup approved.
Roger, November 146 Charlie Hotel.
Okay, we got startup
Queenstown ground,
approval.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, at gate Romeo 4, with information Charlie, ready taxi with clearance.
November Charlie Hotel, taxi to holding point runway 32.
Taxi to holding point runway 32, November Charlie Hotel.
November Charlie Hotel, monitor Queenstown Tower 118.1.
118.1, November Charlie Hotel.
Waiting for 12 here. Got it. Okay, good on engine 1, pump off on 2, pump on the right. Ignition, putting this into auto and the left into gen. Starter's on. And we get 12 on the right. Green, 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 and
Zulu Romeo
green.
Lima, cleared to land runway 23, wind 300, at 3. Cleared to land runway 23, Zulu Romeo Lima. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar, immediately descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Leaving
Consider
altitude
holding
5,000
point,
feet, descending
runway
altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar.
Okay. Let's see the taxi route. Okay. Losing the parking brakes.
Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 050. Turn right heading 050. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 050. Turn right heading 050. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately, climb to altitude 4,100 feet. Leaving altitude 3,700 feet, climbing altitude 4,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, climb to altitude 4,100 feet. Leaving altitude 5,000 feet, climbing altitude 4,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 050. Turn left heading 050. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 050. Turn left heading 050. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 050. Descend to altitude 3,100 feet, 36 miles to touchdown. Golf Alpha Oscar, descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Turn left heading 050, leaving altitude 8,500 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar, leaving altitude 8,400 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately, descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Leaving altitude 8,000 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar, turn left heading 050. Turn left heading 050. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar, immediately, descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Leaving altitude 4,300 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar, descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Leaving altitude 4,300 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar. Zulu Romeo Lima, turn left any intersection. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar. Zulu Romeo Lima.
Let's take a look, see and see what we've got. Right ignition is
Queenstown
on.
Tower, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, with you leaving flight level 100, descending altitude 7,000 feet. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, fly heading 095, descend to altitude 4,100 feet, vector port visual
fuel
approach
pump is
Queenstown.
on.
Fly heading 095, leaving altitude 9,700 feet, descending altitude 4,100 feet.
Let's
Zulu Kilo Delta
put
November
on our
Sierra.
parking brakes and see exactly where we are.
November Charlie Hotel, surface wind calm, runway 3 to cleared takeoff.
Runway 3 to clear takeoff. November Charlie Hotel.
Okay.
Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading
Guess that
040.
answers that.
Turn left heading 040, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately, descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Leaving altitude 7,400 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet.
Except
Golf
it's,
Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately, descend to altitude 3,100 feet. Leaving altitude 8,100 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar. Zulu Romeo Lima, contact Queenstown ground 121 December 9er. 121 December 9er, Zulu Romeo Lima.
I can't
Zulu
see.
Kilo Delta November Sierra, turn right heading
Beginning
105.
of 32
Turn right
and
heading
end of
105.
32.
Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 240, descend to altitude 3,100 feet, 17 miles to touchdown. Turn left heading 240, leaving altitude 6,100 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar.
Let's take another look, see. Well, apparently.
Zulu Kilo Delta November
zoom in
Sierra,
here.
turn right heading 130, descend to altitude 3,100 feet, 36 miles to touchdown. turn right heading 130, leaving altitude 6,900
Okay.
feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet, Zulu Kilo
We're
Delta
on
November
it.
Sierra. Golf Alpha Oscar,
Hard to
turn
see.
left heading 225, turn left heading 225, Golf Alpha Oscar.
So, put a little bit of flaps in.
Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 205, turn right heading 205, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 205, turn left heading 205, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 205, turn left heading 205, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately descend to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 1,900 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, descend to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 0 feet, descending altitude 4,100 feet, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 210, turn left heading 210, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately climb to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 2,900
I
feet,
didn't
climbing
like that
altitude
very
3,100 feet, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn left heading 210, climb to altitude 3,100 feet, turn left heading 210,
fly
leaving
over here
altitude
and see
2,400
exactly
feet, climbing altitude
what's going on
3,100
here.
feet, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, climb to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 5,500 feet, climbing altitude 3,100 feet, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 250. Turn right heading 250, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 250. Turn right heading 250, Golf Alpha Oscar. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, turn right heading 150. Turn right heading 150, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Golf Alpha Oscar, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Golf Alpha Oscar. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, turn left heading 150. Turn left heading 150, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, turn right heading 150. Turn right heading 150, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November
Let's see
Sierra,
here.
immediately descend to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 5,800 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra.
Left wingtip.
Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, descend to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 5,800 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, immediately descend to altitude 3,100 feet, leaving altitude 6,500 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, turn left heading 155. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, immediately descend to altitude 3,100 feet, turn left heading 155, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Leaving altitude 6,800 feet, descending altitude 3,100 feet, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, turn left heading 155. Turn left heading 155, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra, Queenstown Tower, pass your message. Disregard, Zulu Kilo Delta November Sierra. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 280. Turn right heading 280, Golf Alpha Oscar. Golf Alpha Oscar, immediately descend to altitude 3,100 feet.
I'm not sure I've got the
leaving
right
altitude
scenery
3,700 feet, descending altitude
So we're
3,100
going to
feet,
take a
Golf
little
Alpha Oscar.
pause, and we're going to go to the. Sorry to kill the immersion factor, but we're going to load up New Zealand scenery or activate it, and that will be Oceania. Okay, now I'm not sure if it'll activate now, but I'm going to go to World Scenery Library and act as if I'd changed something. And NZ South Island, we'll turn it off and turn it back on again and go okay. And so hopefully it'll reload things. Hopefully. And just remember what it looked like before. This should be Orbx New Zealand South Island. And you'll get a real-time indication of what it takes to load up. Just for grins, you know, little mechanical things here. That's showing one frame. Target is 33. It's showing 12.3 there and 1 there. I don't know why. Alright, here comes the terrain. Let's see if it's any different. And that hissing sound you hear in the back is my I Taste MVP vaporizer, because I quit smoking on July 3rd of 2013. Maybe one of these days I'll give these up too. Oh my goodness, what a difference. Okay, here we go. Let's take it off a pause.
Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar, turn left heading 050. Turn left heading 050. Golf Echo Kilo Charlie Oscar. Queenstown Tower, Zulu Kilo X-Ray Whiskey Bravo, with you leaving flight level 101 descending altitude 7,000 feet. Golf Alpha Oscar, turn right heading 285.
So we should have we should see the airport right out here. We're flying over the airport. It's off our left wingtip right now. Is it really? Yep, sure is. And there is the grass strip that we took off from. I'll be damned, you can see it up here, but you can't see it on the ground. And I couldn't see it. Whoa. Look at those hills. Let's gonna put it in CDI mode, go to autopilot, heading, and bring her up to 9,700. And yeah, we did want to head away from those mountains. Oh, that's pretty down there. Let's take a look at that. $4,600. Everything's looking green. Let's go ahead and get our flight plan going. And zoom out first of all. Say about 15 miles. 20, 30. That's good. Okay. Let's load up our flight plan and go to menu. Uh-oh. I thought we had... Oh, there's the catalog. Yeah. Okay. There we go. Let's activate that puppy. And we want to go to QN next. GPS is on. Let's go to nav here. And autopilot is on. Oil temperature's a little high, huh? Bring our prop back a tad. Okay. Let's bring up our ATC. VoxATC. And let's also bring up the history. Now, the only thing I don't like about the history is that you can't scroll it. So, okay, you see, there's Queenstown. We're heading back to Queenstown. And let's make sure we actually have the live weather updated. It looks pretty good. Alright, so we're coming back over Queenstown because we're picking up on the GPS. We're coming to LX and then NZDN. And they wanted us to depart the area. We're doing that. Notice that we're still on Queenstown Tower here, so we're expecting them to hand us off to departure at some point once we're out of the area. But let's see, we're going 160. We have our flaps up or down? Uh-oh. I screwed up there. Looks like I've got my flaps hanging in the wind. Damn. I wonder if I should get down and repair those. We can get rid of this window for right now. We do have a first officer taking care of the comms, so here we go. Picking up our first waypoint, LX. And we're showing high altitude airways. Looks like we are. I'm not sure if we want that. Yeah, that's another thing. We should be showing terrain in the newest version, which supposedly is a new version of the GTN Lite from Grumman. I bought the CD, and I'm wondering whether that CD shows it. And what's the difference between it? We don't know. We only need low altitude airways. Okay, we are departing the area. Am I getting antsy? No, not really, but we'll wait till we get to, let's say, the 15-mile marker. And if we haven't heard from tower by then we'll contact the tower ourselves. As you know, in IFR, you cannot leave the frequency without asking for permission or being handed off. Okay, 21.0 miles. How far are we from Queenstown? 10 miles. I'm going to go ahead and take it off of first officer. By hitting K. Huh. It won't disable. That's interesting. I'm going to disable and enable again. We'll see what happens.
Test.
Test. Test.
Test.
Now notice FO is red, so let's hit K.
Auckland Oceanic Center, November 146 Charlie Hotel, with you leaving altitude 8,000 feet, climbing altitude 9,000 feet.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, Auckland Oceanic Center. Roger. QNH 1016.
QNH 1016, November 146 Charlie Hotel.
November 146 Charlie Hotel, climb to altitude 9,000 feet.
Climb to altitude 9,000 feet, November 146 Charlie Hotel.
Okay, well, we've picked that up. Fly the flight plan.
Auckland Oceanic Center, American Pacific 614, with you at flight level 170.
American Pacific 614, Auckland Oceanic Center. Roger.
I haven't got my levels. And we got something at 15,000 feet here. It's probably that flight right there. 6,200. That's above me. So our traffic...
Auckland Oceanic Center,
is
Orbit
right here.
749er, with you at flight level 180.
Orbit 749, Auckland Oceanic Center. Roger.
You know what? You know, I'm not sure exactly what the flight plan was. Well, it's basically the same thing. I'm going SH and LX. So, and we just missed SH. We are going to LX and then on to Duneden. So, there's Duneden.
Auckland Oceanic Center, American Pacific 742, with you at flight level 170.
American Pacific 742, Auckland Oceanic Center. Roger.
It's a shame it's not prettier. I mean, I could give you prettier view. But, well, I'll tell you what, I'll do that. This is Orbx New Zealand, South Island.
Auckland Oceanic Center, Zulu Kilo Bravo Mike Hotel, with you at flight level 160.
Zulu Kilo Bravo Mike Hotel, Auckland Oceanic Center.
We're going to give you fair weather so you can see what it looks like out there. We're going to put this puppy away for right now. And now we're going to throw in the real weather.
Auckland Oceanic Center, American Pacific 734, with you at flight level 170.
American Pacific 734, Auckland
Now
Oceanic
we just said we're going to update dynamic weather, and in a couple of seconds it'll put us into the real weather scenario. How are we doing flight-wise? We're 4 miles outside of LX, at which point we're going to turn to, you know what, we don't need to have the
Auckland Oceanic Center, American Pacific 723, with you at flight level 170.
we do want the terrain, but that's not being shown.
Roger.
There wasn't a low or high altitude